Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nikki, and you are listening to Evolution by Nikki, the podcast. After several people telling me that I need to make the jump into video versus just audio, I decided to take the plunge, and I'm not sure how great it's going to turn out. We shall see. But my goal that I have been pushed towards by a coach that I'm working with has challenged me to post 4 live videos or go live with my audience on either Facebook or Instagram and connect that way. So that will be my next step. Without further ado, I would like to start episode 3, Parallel Lives. As you guys know, I typically type out my outline of what I'm going to say, just so that I don't get off track or off topic or go off on a tangent or whatever, and then we're sitting here for an hour and a half. Today's episode is going to be a short one. But if you happen to see me looking over or, grabbing my paper, it's just because I'm making sure that I covered all my points and I didn't miss anything, important. So again, here is episode 3, Parallel Lives. So I kind of want to go back to the years 2006 through 2010, which is when I was in St. Peter's University. As all of this craziness was going on in my life with my ex and my failed marriage and drug use and basically, for a period of time, ghosting my best friends because I was choosing a guy and drugs and partying over people who were always there for me. But the truth is, when I attended St. Peter's, when I took that Kennedy Boulevard bus up to Montgomery, I could be whoever I wanted to be. No one knew who I was at home. No one knew the problems that I was facing. No one knew the struggles that were going on inside me every single day. But I loved all 4 years of college. I didn't even care that I was a commuter student. I didn't care that I didn't get a sorority. I didn't care that I didn't have a party school. When I went to school, I was only concerned about making it out in 4 years. And if I'm being completely honest, I just wanted to show everybody that they were fucking wrong about me. From my high school guidance counselor telling me that I'll never make it through a 4-year college, telling me to check out a community college or a trade school, telling me I'll never be accepted to any of the schools that were on my list. My whole life, I've had people bet against me because of who my mom was, where I came from, what my past looked like. But I'm no longer judged for those things, and I am extremely, extremely thankful for that. My point in saying this about going back to those years, 06 to 10, is that I actually was given a great opportunity by my aunt, who is my mom's sister. I got a job in Manhattan at Tradition North America, and I was in the accounts receivable department. I was making pretty damn good money for basically going to school as a full-time student and also basically working full-time in the city. I would head from Jersey City and take the bus to downtown Jersey City, catch the train at Grove Street or wherever, and get off at the World Trade Center, walk to Park Place. And that was another place that I could be whoever I wanted. I didn't have to admit to anybody what was going on at home. I could be whoever I wanted and take on whatever persona I wanted. And people really gravitated towards that. And I was actually offered a promotion to be on the trading desk. Standard Credit was a company that worked within our company, and they had some space in our offices. And it was basically all men. I think there was only 2 women on the desk, and there was probably about 30 to 40 men, well, employees for Standard Credit. And I believe there was only 3 women, and I was one of those women. And I was only 20 at the time. So that's a pretty big friggin' deal to get a promotion like that at such a young age. But obviously, with that promotion and the importance of that title, I started making even more money. And so here I am, a college student, making a shit ton of money, no bills really, although I was paying half of my college tuition. But that was it. So I had all this money, and, I think to a certain degree I was used by the friends that I had at that time because I was the only one with a good paying job. So although I did all the right things at work and I did all the right things at school, when I came home, I had to deal with the reality of my life and what was really going on. And unfortunately, I spent most of the money that I made, which was a lot of money, a lot of money. I spent most of it on paying for things for my ex and supplying drugs and taking his friends and people out to dinner multiple times a week and drinking all night, staying up and partying all night. It was just a very, very wild time. And that's why this episode is called Parallel Lives, because I was living this one life at home that no one knew about. And then I was living this whole other life that no one could see through this facade because my poker face was so damn strong. No one knew anything. So just give me 1 second. There were a lot of terrible things going on behind the scenes, though, at work too. Of course, with all that money and with the type of men who are employed in that profession largely. Now, listen, I'm not stereotyping anybody, but we've all seen Wolf of Wall Street, and we know that they all have problems with coke. So when you have me, who is living in a relationship based on drugs and abuse, and then you go to another environment where you're treated well. I was treated like gold by those men. They were extremely, extremely polite and respectful. I never felt awkward. But I would go out with the guys from the trading floor sometimes, and we would go to bars, Thursdays, Fridays after work. And, sometimes on Fridays we would leave early. And then sometimes, like, the bosses, the managers, the directors, whatever, they would even, like, in the summer, they would run to the store at like 4 o'clock, and they would get beers and seltzers and like a whole bunch of other stuff for us. And we'd go into one of the empty offices, and we would just spend the rest of our Friday from like 3:34 until 5, just kind of BSing and, getting to know each other and just kind of shooting the shit. But I'm a very outgoing person. I make friends very easily. I I understand and respect a lot of perspectives. I'm not hard to get along with. I'm not really hard to please per se. So I got along with all of those guys. So they start asking us out, the younger girls, or the girls on the trading desk. They start asking them to come out, for drinks. And obviously we're like, oh my God, this is such a great opportunity to network and to get to know these people and to meet new people. And maybe I can switch to a better company, and maybe I can make more money if I meet the right person. So I would go out to these bars, and I never paid for a damn thing. Like, there was one night I'll never forget. We all went to a Christmas party, and the company paid for the Christmas party. But one of the brokers walked into the Christmas party. He didn't stay the whole time, but he put down his black card at the bar and told them to put the entire bar tab for the Christmas party on his credit card. And he left the credit card there, and he went on his merry way and did whatever he wanted to do. And you're talking thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. New York drink prices, right? You're looking for a martini or something, that's like $14. So imagine how much this guy paid. It was an all-night party, hundreds of people. And this guy put down his card to cover the bar tab. I was in amazement. I was like, holy shit, how can you have that much money that you don't even know what it's going to cost? You don't even care what it's going to cost. You're just willing to put down the card no matter what. I've never lived a life like that in my life. So I was so shocked when I saw that. I didn't really think at that time either of going back to anyone's house. Like, we were all partying, and we were buzzed or whatever, and we would take a walk or take the train or whatever. No one was driving. We weren't stupid. But we would go to other people's houses who had apartments in the city. And I was so used to being surrounded by guys, specifically older guys, because I've always acted and been more mature than my age. And the friends that I choose for myself outside of the friends I met in school are all older than me. I'm 33, and most of my friends are just turning 40 or are in their 40s already. So I was very young, and I didn't think anything of this. And there was this one time where we ended up back at somebody's house, and I was the only girl. And it was like 5 or 6 guys. And it was the most beautiful, like, penthouse, rooftop, floor to ceiling windows, granite countertops, like high-end quality hardwood floors. Like, God, this guy's apartment was amazing. Then we kept drinking. But obviously, being who they are and their job and what they're used to, then obviously came out the drugs. I did partake in that. And then there was another time that we went out for, I think it was tapas. We went to a tapas bar, me and a friend, at the trading desk, and then his friend and another one of my friends. And it wasn't like a double date. It was just that we were all working together. We all liked each other. We were all kind of cool, kind of around the same age. So we just wanted to get to know each other. But that night, somehow, we end up at one of their apartments, which is like literally a hole in the wall that he shares with someone else. So even though he's making bank, he's living like a freaking college frat kid. I don't even remember the rest of that night. All I know is that I slept on that guy's couch, And I woke up in the morning, there was some random girl in his bed, and I just left without even saying goodbye. If anybody that knows me knows that I am geographically challenged. I have no internal compass. I do not know north from south, from east from west. If you turned me around a few times and put me out in the middle of the street, I wouldn't be able to tell you what way was north, west, east, south, where the water was. I wouldn't be able to tell you any of that. But somehow I figured out how to get back from this guy's apartment at like 5 in the morning by myself, doing the like ultimate walk of shame, minus the fact that I wasn't the one that slept with anybody. It was the random girl. But I made it back, and I really did have a good time that night. But the scary part was not really remembering what happened after I got to the apartment. So it was a little fuzzy. Like, I got there, we drank a little bit more, and then I remember feeling tired, and then people started leaving, and then I fell asleep. And then, like I said, the next morning I woke up and there was another girl in his bed. So I'm confident that that was his plan all along, is to like make me fall asleep and then invite this this chick over, because there was absolutely no shot between him and I. We were just really good friends. So this whole period of my life of experimentation and questioning myself and loss of faith in God and just everything, I didn't know that there was anything beyond that. I thought that that was kind of the end all be all for me. And I had resigned to the fact that I was probably never going to be able to live the American dream for several reasons, until I met Justin. I honestly never felt worthy of someone's love, even my parents, because that love was conditional. I had to do the right thing, be the right person to get that love and support, rather than unconditionally, where it doesn't matter, I always get it. So I was used to kind of just feeling alone a lot of the time and in despair, and like there was no way out for me. But when I met Justin in November of 2008, that all changed. We've already talked about that in previous episodes. We did meet, like I said, on a cruise in 2008. And the day that we left the cruise, I typed up a letter to my ex and broke it off with him. And he didn't even try to make me stay. He literally like just smirked and kind of like laughed and was like, whatever. So I had nowhere necessarily to go that night, so I did sleep there. But then he woke up the next morning. Him and his whole family went to work, and I called my father, who I basically had no relationship with because, they were divorced. My parents were divorced when I was very young, and I don't really have any memories of living with my father as a child at all. And the ones that I do have are bad, and they're ones that I choose not to remember, because of how painful they are. But despite not having a relationship with him or his family, because he got married after my mom, and his wife had 2 kids of her own from a previous marriage, and then my father and my stepmom had my half brother. So for about a year and a half, while I tried to sort things out, I had my dad pick me up that day after I broke up with him and take all my shit out of his house. I left all my furniture, but I took everything else. And he never even called me. He never even tried to get me to come back. So that's how I knew that it had been over for a long time, and that him cheating on me should have been the first sign. I'm sorry, I just get like a little emotional about certain things, and then they bring up other thoughts in my head, so it just takes me a second sometimes to recollect my thoughts. But like I said, that time living with my father was the first time since I was about 4 years old that I had any extended contact with him, because all he had was visitation rights, and my mom had restraining orders against him. And, if he wouldn't pay child support on time, I would have to call him as like a 5-year-old and tell him, like, mommy says you need to pay her, otherwise you're not seeing me. And so that's what my life was. And I didn't get that unconditional love and affection unless I did what people wanted me to do. Like, I was not allowed to have my own thoughts or feelings. I was influenced by people around me who wanted to control me for their own benefit. And that shit will never fucking happen again. Hand on the goddamn Bible. Okay. So Justin and I pursue a long distance relationship. He's stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and I'm still in Hazlet, New Jersey. And we go back and forth multiple times a month to visit each other. Sometimes we fly, sometimes we drive, sometimes we bring friends. But we try to see each other at least once a month. We went on so many trips together, though, that it was unbelievable. I had dated my ex for 4 years, and we'd only been to one place. He's never taken me anywhere. But then I'm in this long distance relationship with Justin, and he's taken me to Myrtle Beach. He's taken me to Raleigh. He's taken me to Virginia Beach. He's taken me to Little Italy in New York City. Like, we have gone, at this point in time, we had gone on so many dates and had so many wonderful experiences together when we were together, that the time spent apart waiting to see each other again wasn't even bad. Of course we missed each other, but it was doable. And we were corny as hell. We would both put the DVD in, like the Notebook, in the VCR, in the DVD player at the same time. And we'd literally count down like 3, 2, 1 and press play. And we would lay there for like an hour, 2 hours on Skype, when Skype was big. So we would be video watching each other and talking. But we'd be watching the same movie at the same time. And that was part of what got me through that year and a half, is that I still did have him. It might not have been physical like I wanted, but I still had him, and he still wanted to pursue this long distance relationship. We saw tons of, different concerts. We moved to Arizona for a year together. We drove across country. Like, there are no experiences that can top the things that Justin and I have been through together and seen together, because those experiences were some of the most important experiences and profound learning experiences of my entire life. And I thank God every day that he had a bigger plan for me. And he, I mean God. There's no way that I made it out of all of the situations that I had been in, that people put me in, that I put myself in. I know I should have been in jail or dead. I hid drugs for people on my body. I did drugs in public while driving. I was trespassing and doing things I shouldn't have been doing. Um, you know, I just am really grateful for the growth and the progress and the change that has gone on in my life since meeting my husband. I hope you guys enjoyed the video episode. I'm going to do it a little bit differently next time. This was my first go around with it. And I wanted to see if people more connected with putting a face to the voice, or if they would rather just the voice. So yeah, leave me feedback, leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Should I do more? Should I do less? Do you guys want to see more interviews? Just let me know whatever your comments are, and I will be sure to get them into the show. All right, guys, that's all for now. I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.